Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Rehab Christian Center Sunday morning virtual experience. I'm Dr. Zeb, and it's good to be here with you this morning. And thank you so much for tuning in. Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers that are tuned in, that are joining us. It is good to be with you on, I think, what is one of the most incredible holidays we celebrate. There is nothing, well, I take that back. Being a mother is an awesome thing, I've heard. From those of you that are mothers, and certainly having an awesome mom myself. I was going to say there's nothing like Mother's Day, but there's another day that is like it. And but it is good to see you all this morning, and grateful you've tuned in. Do me a favor. I want you to start liking this video, sharing this video. You just start tagging people, tell them to tune in. Again, I can't say Happy Mother's Day enough. I'm going to say it all morning. And so I hope I don't annoy all of you by repeating it over and over and over again. But to every single mother that's tuned in, every single mother at Rehab, every single mother that's joining us, that tunes into our broadcast, that might be watching the replay, Happy Mother's Day to you. Listen, make sure you take a moment, if you would, even in the chat area, to not only say good morning, but wish our mothers a happy Mother's Day. But wish your mom a happy Mother's Day, even if she's not with us physically today. It's okay to wish mom a happy Mother's Day. And I am certainly praying for those of you that may be in that position, whose mom is not physically here on earth, that God would certainly strengthen you today. I have a lot of friends and people that I know whose moms are not with them today. And I actually thought about a lot of them this morning. And I'm certainly praying for you. I'm praying for all of you that God would certainly give you the strength to get through the day and to see the day as a positive experience. Really being grateful for the time that you have been given with your mom. It is important that we are grateful for that. And so make sure you take that opportunity to do just that. I certainly have already talked to my mom and wished her a happy Mother's Day. I'm grateful and blessed to have an outstanding mom. And I'm just grateful that she's still here with us. And so, Mom, if you're tuned in, happy Mother's Day again. And just grateful for her. And again, all of you mothers, you ladies that have been like mothers. I don't know if surrogate mother is the right term, but so many of you have been like moms to so many people. You have stepped in and played the role of mom. Some of you have been stepmothers. Some of you were grandma and mom at the same time. There are just so many different roles so many of you have played. And I want to just say to all of you, happy Mother's Day. If you've even played in that role, I want to say happy Mother's Day to you. And I want you to know that we are all grateful. We are all grateful for what you've done, how you served as a mom, and how you continue to, so many of you day by day, to be and operate in that capacity. So again, happy Mother's Day to you. And I love this. I was going to say this is probably one of my favorite days, but it's not. And y'all mothers can take it whatever way you want to. This is not the best holiday. It's the second best. I just feel like being petty. This ain't the best holiday. This is the second best holiday that we celebrate when it comes to parenting. This is the second best. And we all know what the first best is. And it's coming approximately a month from today. But again, just all jokes aside, just grateful for all mothers and thankful for those of you that continue to serve in that capacity, whether officially or unofficially, for those that you've led. Let's go through the networks. I've got a powerful word today for you on Mother's Day. And I want to challenge you and empower you today in a special way. And I know you're going to get a lot out of this word. And so let's walk through the networks. And I want you to start sharing this video, tagging people. I know a lot of you are going to be visiting mom. You're going to maybe going with mom to church today. Maybe you're having a cookout dinner with mom. Hopefully you'll just, if you are a mom and maybe mom isn't around, no longer here, maybe you're just going to hang out yourself. That's fine. I want you to really enjoy your day wherever you are. But I want you to know that I am praying for you and praying that today is as awesome as you are. Let's go through our networks. Facebook, good morning. It's good to see you virtually on Facebook. Those of you that are tuned in via Facebook, thank you so much for joining us. If you're on Facebook, do me a favor. I want you to like this video. If you really enjoy our channel, if you really enjoy our ministry, I want you to hit that like button, hold it down, turn it to a love button, hit the share button, hit the @ symbol, tag 5 people and tell them to tune in this morning. If it's a mother, especially, invite 5 moms to church this morning virtually. Maybe mama's getting ready for brunch, getting ready to hang out. Doesn't matter. You should invite them and tell them to tune in and get a very powerful word that's going to bless them today. And Facebook, we would greatly appreciate it. If you have not already, make sure you say good morning in the chat area. Facebook, make sure you say good morning in the chat area. And again, I want you to start hitting that @ symbol, tagging people, inviting them. And then also say Happy Mother's Day in the chat area. We want to, again, just want to fill up the comments all day today to every single woman that serves in the capacity as mom. We want to fill up the chat area today and make sure that we're celebrating them all day today. All right. And so make sure you say Happy Mother's Day in that chat area. We would really appreciate it. Instagram, good morning to you. Those of you that are tuned in via Instagram, thank you so much for joining us. If you're on Instagram, thank you for being with us. Make sure you hit that love button if you're on Instagram. Hit that heart. Let me see some hearts going there. Make sure you say good morning in the chat area if you're on Instagram. And then I want you to hit that @ symbol, and I want you to start tagging people in Instagram right now. Tell them to get up and to join us. This is going to be a powerful message. And yeah, that's better. This is going to be a powerful message. And we are just grateful that everybody is tuned in. So good morning, Instagram. Fill it up with hearts. Let me see hearts flying up the screen. Happy Mother's Day to those of you that are tuned in via Instagram. And make sure you hit that @ symbol and tag 5 people, tag 5 moms, tell them to tune in. We've got a powerful message. It ain't just for moms, it's for everybody today. But this is going to be a very powerful message, and I'm excited to talk about it. The courage to break the cycle is going to be a powerful word, and I'm grateful to be with you on today. YouTube, good morning to you. Those of you that are tuned in via YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. If you're on YouTube, thank you for being with us. Make sure, if you have not already, to follow. Make sure you follow our page on YouTube. Subscribe to our page on YouTube, rather. You can find us by going to the search bar on YouTube. Type in TheREHABCC. That's TheREHABCC on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel. Hit that bell notification icon so that you can be notified every time we go live, every time new clips, new videos are posted. And we want you to support us there. We would love to see you. And again, we're just so grateful for those of you that are subscribed to our YouTube channel. Again, excited about the future and using YouTube as a platform really more in the future to do more things. And so if you're on YouTube, welcome. Make sure you say good morning in the chat area. If you're on YouTube, make sure you start telling everybody Happy Mother's Day. If you're on YouTube, we really want to spread. I can't talk. We really want to spread this Mother's Day love this morning on all of our networks. So make sure throughout the broadcast, even as you're typing notes, if you feel the urge to tell somebody Happy Mother's Day, go and put it in the chat, tag them. This is your opportunity to tag somebody, tell them Happy Mother's Day, and invite them to church at the same time. So you can knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. And so I want you to make sure that you say that this morning. But again, welcome YouTube. Those of you that are tuned in via YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you so much for being with us. Listen, let's go through the declaration. I've got to hurry because I got a lot to cover this morning with this message and a lot of ground to cover, and don't want to do it very long this morning. Want to get on, give you this message, get out of your way so that those of you that are going to enjoy your moms can do that. And those of you that are going to enjoy yourself can do that. But I'm excited to have you with us this morning and so grateful that you've tuned in. You should see on the screen the declaration. If this is your first time tuning into the Rehab Christian Center, many people ask, what does REHAB stand for? It is an acronym that stands for Restore, Evangelize, Hope, Alternatives, Breakthroughs. It is breakthrough. It is the 5 pillars by which we operate our ministry. And we walk through the declaration every Sunday. Why? Because it is important that we start off our week, that we end our weekend, start off our week by saying the right things. There is power in the words we speak. There is power in the words we declare over our lives. And so we're going to walk through the declaration. You should see it on your screen, regardless of the network you're tuned in. We finally got that figured out, but you should see it on your screen. And let's walk through the declaration so that we can get through the declaration, get right into this message, and it's going to bless you. As I'm doing the declaration, I always read it and pause so that you can repeat after me. And not only that, while we're doing the declaration, feel free to hit that @ symbol and keep inviting people. Tell them to wake up, to get up, to jump on this morning. This is going to be a powerful message, and I'm excited to share it with you. All right, let's walk through it. Restore. We declare that everything that is broken, lost, hurt, or destroyed that belongs to us and has been designed by God is restored. My faith is restored. My joy is restored. My mind is restored. Even my lost time is restored. I am no longer broken. The fact that I'm alive means I have another chance. My faith has restored me. And right now, his love is making me whole. Evangelize. Say it with me. We declare that God helped us so we can help somebody else. He loved me when I was unlovable. He changed me when I was a mess. His love lifted me when I was down. I'm not perfect, but I'm free. And anything that came for me can't keep me. Because I'm free, my circle is next. My family is saved. My friends are blessed. My plans are successful. My goals are ahead of schedule. And anything connected to me is blessed, just like me. Hope, say it with me. We declare that everything that is missing is not lost. In Jesus, I have hope. And this hope makes me confident. It doesn't matter what happens to me or around me. I'm going to win. My relationships are winning. My goals are winning. My family is winning. My neighbor is winning. This city will win, and my row has the victory. My past is defeated, and my future is brighter today than it was yesterday. Alternatives, say it with me. We declare that God made us different. I'm a royal child, the light of the world, and the hope of my city. I respect the past, but I don't look like what I've been through. I love the church, and my life is balanced. I love coming to church, but I like flights, boats, and vacations. My whole life is blessed. I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. I am a lender, not a borrower. And every place I go belongs to me. Breakthrough. Say it with me. We declare God has a breakthrough with our name on it. I have some challenges, but I am not defeated. No weapon formed against me can prosper. And I know that all things are working for my good. Things are not breaking down. They are about to break through. There is a breakthrough in my career. There is a breakthrough in my home. There is a breakthrough in my health. There is a breakthrough in my finances. I am here on purpose, for a purpose, and everything that went wrong is getting ready to turn around. You make that declaration with me this morning? If you did, I need you to do me a favor. I want you to type in the comments really quickly. You made that declaration with me. You put in the comments quickly. It's going to get better. Hurry. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. Come on this great Mother's Day, I want you to type in the comments. You're going to make this declaration now. It's going to get better. Everything in your life, everything concerning your life, is getting ready to get better. And we've been making this declaration since the first Sunday of January or the first Sunday of this year, January 2022, we've been making this declaration. And I hope you have been applying that same attitude to your life every single day. I know I have. I don't know about anybody else. Been applying this to my life every single day and literally watching things get better by the day, by the week, by the month. I want you to type it in the comments quickly. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. I want you to make that declaration. If you have not invited somebody to church, make sure you do that right away. Hit that @ symbol, tag them, tell them it's going to get better so that you can invite them to church this morning. There is a powerful word that I'm ready to share with you. And I'm just so excited to be with you again on Mother's Day. Again, happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers, all of you mothers that are tuned in, all of you mothers that are watching the replay. Happy Mother's Day to you, all of you expecting mothers. We have new mothers that are coming. Happy Mother's Day to all of you. It is certainly my prayer that God blesses you today, and not just today, every single day, for all of the work that you do. And we are just excited to celebrate you today and share this very powerful word on Mother's Day, and grateful you've tuned in. Again, all the places you could be, all the things you could be doing. Thank you for stopping your day to get a powerful word that's going to spring you into your Sunday. And we know you won't regret tuning in. Listen, let's get ready to rumble. I got a powerful word. I want you to type it in the comments quickly. Put the subject in the comments quickly. The courage to break the cycle. Come on, quickly. The courage to break the cycle. That's what we're going to deal with today. The courage to break the cycle. I'm going to be in Psalm chapter 34, the New Living Translation. The courage to break the cycle, right? The courage to break the cycle. I'm going to be in Psalm chapter 34, New Living Translation. And I want you to type that in the comments quickly. I've got a lot of ground to try to cover, and I got to hurry up and do this so that I can really let all of you go. Get and enjoy your mother in whatever capacity you're going to do this today. I know I'm going to spend some time with my mom, and I'm just excited for all of you today, again, for tuning in. The courage to break the cycle. Psalms chapter 34, New Living Translation is where we are. I want you to put it in the comments. Get ready to record some notes today. Good morning to all of you. Good morning, Sister Leslie. Good morning to all of you that are saying good morning. I know I've been running my mouth a lot this morning, but really want to just make sure that we wish our mothers a happy Mother's Day. Again, I'm going to sound like a broken record all morning, but that's all right. Y'all had the second best parent holiday that exists. All right. The courage to break the cycle is where we are. Psalms chapter 34, New Living Translation. Now, let's deal with this before we go here. All right. I want you to record this. This is the first note I'm going to give you. Keep inviting people to church this morning. Make sure you keep tagging people. Tell them to tune in. It's not too late. But this is going to be powerful. Here's the first note I want you to record. Cycles are only dangerous when you don't learn from them. All right. We know what cycles are. All right. We all know what cycles are. All right. So I'm not going to spend time there, but I want to say this. Cycles are not dangerous. Cycles, are only dangerous when you don't learn from them. All right. Cycles are only dangerous when you don't learn from them. All of us at some point or another will experience cycles in our lives. Cycles happen. The Bible tells us to everything there is a season, a time, and a purpose. Solomon also continues to write where he says there's nothing new under the sun, which means everything from styles to music to world events. You notice that things that happen today are oftentimes repeats of things that have happened many years ago. There's nothing new under the sun, right? So cycles happen, and there are many cycles that we can't stop, even if we wanted to stop them, all right? And so this ain't about saying avoid cycles. There are going to be cycles that you will have to experience in your life. But again, cycles are only dangerous when you don't learn from them. When you don't learn from a cycle, when you don't learn from a pattern that continues to happen over and over in your life, then you end up in the danger zone. And see, our life, I tend to find out, your life is typically only on repeat when growth or development is necessary, right? You only go through things in your life over and over and over again when there is a growth lesson to be learned or a development lesson to be learned. This is going to be so powerful today. When there's a growth lesson or a development lesson to be learned. Think about school. Think about graduating to the next grade. You don't go to the next grade until you what? Pass the test. And if you fail the test, you got to do what? got to take it again, right? Cycles in our lives work the same way. Some of you are in the cycles you're in because you keep failing. Some of you are in the patterns you're in because you have not grown through them. And so cycles end up on repeat in our lives when we don't grow from them. Patterns end up on repeat in our lives when we don't grow through them. And so it's about growth and it's about development. You end up in patterns where you go through things over and over again when you don't develop in a situation, right? So it may not be necessarily about a pass-fail test as much as it could be you being in a pattern where you have not developed enough or matured enough to go to the next level, right? Think karate, right? Think gymnastics. I think about my daughter in gymnastics, right? When you're in gymnastics, and I had to learn this. I didn't know anything about the sport. But when you're in gymnastics, you start at the bronze level, and then silver, and then you go to gold, and Giselle has just been promoted to the gold level. And then I think there's like platinum, and you just keep rising up. If you're not good enough on the silver level, you don't go back to the bronze level. You stay on the silver level and you repeat it and you stay there until you develop enough to go to the next level. So patterns are not only about growth, right, and passing and failing, they're also about developing, right? Do you develop through the thing that you've experienced to be able to say that it's time for you to go to the next level? And again, cycles are not designed to kill you. Contrary to popular belief, cycles are not designed to kill you. They're only designed to teach you. They're only designed to grow you. They're only designed to develop you. And if you continue to stay in a space where you're not growing, you're not developing, you're not learning, you're not being taught, then you're going to end up in that same space on repeat over and over and over again, right? And so this is important. Whatever you do over and over again, and I don't care what this is, whether this is a cycle, riding a bike, practicing basketball, practicing crocheting, YouTubing, I don't care what you do. Whatever you do over and over again becomes a part of your nature. This is going to be real good. I want you to hear me clearly. I want you to record this. You're going to be the smartest person at the water cooler all week long. Whatever you do over and over and over again in your life, I don't care what it is, eventually becomes a part of your nature. So if you repeat, let's say a habit or a task over and over and over again, and you practice it over and over and over again, you will naturally become not only better at it, more proficient at it, but then it becomes a part of your nature, right? Cycles work the same way. Anything you find yourself in life doing over and over and over and over again, because either A, you want to do it, B, you haven't learned from it, C, you haven't grown from it, D, you haven't developed from it. Anything that you do in your life over and over and over and over and over again, eventually is going to become a part of your nature, right? And so if you find yourself in cycles where you trust the wrong people, and let's just use this as an example. Let's say you find yourself in cycles where you trust the wrong people over and over and over and over again, then what happens is you develop in your nature, or as a part of your nature, you grow to a place where you end up having trust issues. Why? Because it is something, it is a cycle, it is a process that you have been involved in when? Over and over and over again, right? And so you've got to be careful. You have to be careful. Anytime you are in cycles, cycles don't have to always be bad. And again, I think sometimes we hear cycles, even hear the title of this message, The Courage to Break the Cycle, and you think this is always negative. Cycles are not always negative. Cycles can very much be positive. And you got to understand that anything you intend to impact, anything you intend to influence, whether it's negative or positive, requires the pressure of repetition. Okay? Anything you intend to influence, whether it's positive, whether it's negative, requires the pressure of repetition, which means if I do something bad over and over and over and over again, that I'm going to have the cycle of the bad thing. If I do something positive over and over and over and over again, I'm going to have the cycle of something positive, right? And so repetition and cycles work hand in hand. You don't have a cycle when something's happened once. You don't necessarily have a cycle if something's happened twice, necessarily. Depends on the thing, right? But when things continue to happen over and over again, it is a reflection of repetition. that at some point in your life, whatever you find yourself in a cycle in is now on repeat. A behavior is on repeat. A trend is on repeat. An action's on repeat. Something's on repeat that's causing that thing to happen again. And so we've got to figure out why certain things in our life, this is all I'm trying to get to in the introduction. We have to figure out in our lives why certain things in our lives are on repeat. And there are things in your life that are on repeat that you put on repeat, i.e., I'm here every Sunday, I'm here every Tuesday. It is a cycle for me to do the broadcast every week, right? This is just an elementary, example. It is a cycle, quote unquote, for me to do the broadcast every week, to be with you every Sunday, every Tuesday, right? That's a cycle. That's something that I intentionally do, that has become a part of my nature. It feels weird, whether I pre-record or I'm live or if I'm on vacation. It feels weird to wake up on Sundays and not be teaching you, right? Feels weird to wake up on Tuesdays, even if you've got a good reason, and not be in front of you. Why? Because that is a cycle that I have intentionally created, that I've intentionally put on repeat, that's on play. I'm not talking about those today. I'm going to deal with these cycles in your life that you didn't intend. Because here's the reality. Many times we say, hey, Dr. Zeb, I'm in a cycle in my life that I can't stop, and I don't know how I got there. But here's the reality. Cycles don't just happen. Cycles are a reflection of repeated behavior. I want you to record that. Cycles are a reflection of repeated behavior. Come on, put it in the comments. This is going to be good. This is going to be good. Put in the comments. Cycles are a reflection of repeated behavior. And the things that you do, whether consciously, meaning on purpose, or subconsciously, meaning not knowing, the things that you do over and over and over again repeat cycles in your life. And so we can't say that cycles, we understand cycles in the context of something positive, but then we think that can't be the case for things that are negative. No, it works whether or not something's positive or negative, it works. Cycles, how can I put this? Yeah, cycles don't feel. Cycles just are what they are, right? So a cycle can be positive, a cycle can be negative, but what they have in common is that it's based on repeated behavior. And so we got to kill this notion today. Oh, I'm in this cycle in my life. I'm in a thing in my life I can't break. I can't seem to shake it. I keep going back and forth from this thing, back and forth from this habit, back and forth from this struggle, back and forth from this problem. I keep going back and forth and I can't break it. And I don't know where it's coming from. No, we got to dig a little bit deeper, because even if you don't know you're doing it, cycles are a reflection of repeated behavior. And if you're honest with yourself, there is nothing that you're dealing with negative in your life that continues to happen over and over and over again. Watch, that you don't play a role in. Ooh. Are y'all listening to me? I'm going to say that again. There is nothing in your life that you are dealing with over and over and over and over again that if you are not honest, you got to be honest to admit this, that if you're honest, that you in some way, shape, or fashion aren't playing a role in. Well, that's it. Are you telling me, you blaming me for what other people did to me? No, I'm not blaming you for what other people did to you. But what I am saying is, if we are all honest and look deeply in any situation in our lives, the reality is, whether it's positive or negative, cycles don't happen without our participation in them. Y'all not listening to me. Cycles don't happen without our often willing participation in them, which means they are a reflection of repeated behavior. It's that simple. And I'm going to make this make sense. I'm going to make this make a lot of sense to you today. But I want to say this to you, and I want you to record this again. Put this note in the comments. You're going to be the smartest person in the water cooler all week. And then we're going to get into Psalms and try to break this down and walk through this real fast. I got a lot of work to do. I want you to record this though. All right. And remember this. Okay. Because some of you are saying, well, Dr. Zeb, I'm dealing with this situation. I'm dealing with this problem. I'm dealing with this habit, and I can't seem to shake it. I can't seem for it to leave me alone. I want to be free from it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I want you to record this. Anything that is on repeat in your life is something you have not conquered. Anything that is on repeat in your life, and I'm talking about negative things now, okay? Not talking about positive cycles. I'm talking about negative things. Anything in your life that is on repeat is something you have not conquered. Bottom line. If you continue to go through things, negative things in your life, and they continue to happen over and over and over again, you have not conquered them. And when we say you haven't conquered them, what we're saying is you ain't learned from it. You ain't grown from it. You ain't developed from it. You have not been honest about your role in it. And some of us are saying we learn from situations, we grew from situations. It's easy to check those boxes, but it's hard for people to admit their role in the things that they have repeated in their lives. I'm here to tell you, anything in your life that is on repeat is something you have not conquered. So if you continue to deal with the same drama in certain circles and you wonder why your family is giving you just drama, and you keep going through the same family drama with folks in your family over and over and over and over again, at a certain point, it's great. You can blame them for their role in it, but at a certain point, you got to ask yourself, why am I continuing to deal with this? And what is, here we go, the lesson in all of this that I need to learn? See, because that really introduces something that that I'm going to probably spend some time later this week. I'm going to do a live on my channel. I'm going to talk a little bit about this, but it really introduces something called personal accountability. And I don't have time to deal with this today the way I really want to. I'm going to really spend some time with this week, but let me just say this real quickly and make some of you upset. Some of you are in cycles in your life because you don't take accountability for what you do. You don't take accountability for things that happen to you, and you don't take accountability for your role in situations. Now, again, I'm not excusing what people do. We can't take accountability for other grown folks' actions. I'm not talking about what they do, right? We can't take responsibility for other grown people's actions. I'm not talking about what other grown people do, but I'm here to tell you, some of you are in cycles right now because you don't own your part. Come on. It's just, you're in the cycles you're in. Your life, and the things in your life that are negative, that are on repeat, that you don't understand why they're stopping. Many of those situations have not stopped because you haven't owned your role in it. See, it's easy. This is all I'm trying to say. This is all I'm trying to say. Because one of the easy ways to break a cycle, honestly, is to stop pointing fingers. Y'all don't like this. And see, you can break a cycle like this when you stop blaming everybody else and start blaming yourself. I don't care what it is. I don't care what they did to you. None of that matters, right? Yeah, it's important, but it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, in every situation, this is all I'm getting to, because I don't feel like I'm explaining this well today. Maybe I'm just too excited. At the end of the day, in every single situation, at the end of the day, we normally, almost always, and when I say almost always, I would say 98% of the time. It may not be a perfect rule. There are some exceptions to the rule, right? There are some exceptions to the rule where somebody could just blatantly do something to you and you had absolutely nothing to do with it, right? But in most cases, we almost always have a role to play. So when things fail, when businesses fail, when relationships fail, whatever things fail, it's convenient for us to say, well, if they wouldn't have done this, I wouldn't be in it. Or if they wouldn't have done this, I wouldn't still be dealing with this. Or this wouldn't be happening over and over and over again if they wouldn't do this. Or, and I like this one, the big one, we put the devil in it. When in doubt, blame the devil. When in doubt, say the devil made me do it, right? All of this stuff dances around the idea and the need of taking personal accountability. So I'm telling you, the easiest way, honestly, to break a cycle is to stop pointing fingers. You'd be amazed at what taking personal accountability, personal responsibility for your life, what it does. I want to challenge all of you this week. You have to learn how to take personal responsibility, accept personal accountability for your life. Listen to me, y'all. Take personal accountability, personal responsibility for your life. While it could be hurtful what people did to you, while it could be hurtful people's role, the role that people played in things that have happened to you, I understand that. At the end of the day, you have to take, y'all don't like this message. This is a good, powerful message. You have to take personal accountability and responsibility for your life and the things that happen in your life. And see, people, and especially in this generation that we are in, this generation loves to blame everybody else for what's going on with them. They love to do it. They love to blame everybody else. They love, to say, I would be if they would not be. I would do if they did not do. Stop. Take personal responsibility, personal accountability for your life. And when you do, it's the easiest way to begin down the road of breaking cycles in your life. Y'all got to stop this blame game. You do. And I ain't got time to deal with it today. I'm going to deal with it later this week. A lot of people, things happen this week. Some big people died this week. Some things happened. And, I was just amazed. I sit back and watch people's reactions to different stuff. And I'm just amazed at how, it just amazes me how we so often blame people for the predicaments that we are all oftentimes in. And oftentimes, not only do we blame people for the predicaments that we're in the process of blaming them, we think that blaming them is going to minimize our role in the positions that we're in. It doesn't do it. You can point fingers at people all day, but none of that will minimize your role in your life being where it is. Let me give you an example, because it sounds like I'm talking in code. So let me give you an example so it makes sense, so it's clear. Case in point, let's use Mother's Day. Hey, I would be a whole lot further if my mom was in my life. Let's just use that as an example. I have friends whose moms were not good moms in their lives, were not there for them, did not do their jobs as moms. I hear these, I counsel people who've gone through, who have challenging issues because of the lack of moms in their lives. So it's easy to make that statement, right? If mom would have been there, I would be further. And there's some truth in that, right? So I think it's important to say that so we don't minimize mom's role in not being present, okay? So that's important to do, so we don't blame everything on you if you say that, right? So there's some truth in that statement. But here's the flip side. The more you dwell on that, the lesser your ability to then grab your life from the point of recognition of what she didn't do, to grab your life and move your life forward so you can be everything you need to be. That's called taking personal responsibility for your life. Yeah, mama didn't do what she was supposed to do. Yeah, mama could have been a better mama. I get that. Shame on mama. That's her part. But when you dwell there and you continue to point fingers, I would be if mama didn't do this. I would be if mama had done this. Then you're reaching a point where you then become a part of the problem. And I know we don't like this. This is a hard word for people who don't want to own their own stuff. And let me tell y'all something, y'all. I've been doing counseling. I've been doing coaching now for over 17 years. Professional coaching. I'm not talking about the ministry stuff. I'm talking about professional, licensed, credential, education degrees, coaching for over 17 years. Let me tell you something. People love to point the fingers at everybody else and not take their life, grab it by the horns and say, I'm going to make my life better. And I don't care what happened to me. I don't care what they did. And I don't care what challenges that came my way, because I'm in control of this. And that's called taking personal responsibility. And until you get to that place You will always find somebody else to point the finger at. And we got to stop. And another part of this, another part of this challenge is not only the personal accountability demon, but it's also this need for us to just need people to understand us. I was listening to an interview with Lala, and she was doing it with, I can't think of the guy's name from the talk show. Oh gosh, works for the radio station Breakfast Club. It's not coming to me. Lala was doing an interview with the guy from the Breakfast Club. His name, I can see his face clear as day, bald-headed guy. Some people say it was controversial. I enjoy listening to his take. I think he's very honest. His name is not coming to me for nothing. Come on, y'all, help me out. The Breakfast Club, bald-headed guy, and it was Charlemagne. It was Charlemagne. She was doing the interview with Charlemagne, and Lala was talking about how she went through a season of her life where she needed people to understand her. Yep, Charlemagne the God. She went through a season of her life where she needed people to understand her, and she said things changed when she stopped looking for people to understand her and started riding with people who support her. Listen to me, y'all. Listen to the revelation. She said, my life changed when I stopped needing people to understand me. Look at the interview. It's on YouTube. I stopped needing people to understand me, and I started riding with people who supported me. She talked about how her mom, she was 17. She did not even know what she was going to do in LA. She went out to LA for a visit. She came back, and she told her mom, listen, I'm going to LA. I'm born and raised in Brooklyn. I'm going to LA. I'm going to start my career there. I don't know what I'm going to do. Mama had no idea what she was going to do either. Mama didn't understand it. She didn't. She said, listen, I have no idea. Watch it. It's a very compelling interview. And y'all forgive me. It's just the nerd in me. I watch stuff like this. I learn from all kinds of different sources. But she said, it was very compelling. She said, because Mama told her that I have no idea what you're doing. Going out to LA and you ain't but 17. But I tell you what, I support you. Let me tell you something. When you start living that way, then you get to a place where you can break cycles in your life. Some of us are stuck in cycles, not because we don't have ability. You stuck in cycles because you waiting on somebody to pat you on the back. You waiting on somebody to say, oh, I understand you. I get what you're doing. Listen, let me help y'all. Anybody that's going to do anything great is normally going to be misunderstood before they're supported. I want to say this slow. And I'm especially talking to every single trailblazer that's tuned in this morning. Anybody that does anything great or significant in your life, you will be misunderstood before you are supported. 9 times out of 10. You're going to be misunderstood before you're supported. It's life. And if you can't operate in that space of being misunderstood, you're going to be in for a ride. You're going to end up in cycles of staying stuck where you are, or cycles of working the same deadbeat jobs, or a cycle of working that job instead of starting the business that you know you've got a passion for that can work, right? We end up in cycles when we wait for people to understand us. And some of you stayed in bad relationships because it was easy for people to understand you staying than the risk of them supporting you if you left. I'm going to say this again slow. Some of you stayed in bad relationships, stayed on bad jobs. You remain connected with horrible people because it was easy for you to stay and be understood than to leave and be supported. Y'all don't like the way I'm teaching. Is this making sense to anybody today? It was. And so when you get to a place where you want to break cycles in your life, even at the cost of being misunderstood, even at the cost, I'm yelling at you again, even at the cost of being misunderstood, you're willing to leave situations, walk from situations, stop situations at the expense of being misunderstood, rather than just staying there and letting people understand you and waiting on support for them to support you. You can't operate that way if you're going to break cycles in your life. And people who break cycles in their lives often do things that initially cause people to misunderstand them and later support them. And that, my friends, is where courage comes into play. Did that introduction make sense? I didn't mean to run the introduction that long. This thing, I could teach this for hours today. Why? Because I've broken cycles in my life. I know what it's like to break cycles in my life. I know what it's like to look at patterns in my life, whether they were patterns I started or patterns that were I inherited that came to. I know what it's like to be in cycles where things have always been a certain way over and over, and then I've been the one to just completely step out of bounds. and when you step out of bounds, people don't always understand you. Like, what? Think about now. Look, y'all. Let's just keep it a buck. Can we keep it a buck real quick? I mean, 100. I forgot. I'm not on my personal channel. Can we keep it honest? Is that better? Can we keep it honest real quick? Listen, y'all. Listen, we're supposed to be celebrating walking in a building next week, right? Building got taken completely out from under us, not out of our control. And think about it. I could have easily had all these second thoughts. Well, moving the church from a traditional church to a hybrid church, we're going to be in person 2 Sundays and virtual 2 Sundays. Maybe I went too far, and maybe that's why the building happened, because hey, who would do something like that? Let me tell you something. When you're in a season of your life where you're blazing trails, you get to a place where you don't care if people don't understand you. Right? Your vision for your life becomes greater than folks understanding. Y'all don't like the way I'm talking. Your vision for your life becomes greater than people who get you, than you counting how many people understand you. And see, this is the space where trailblazers live. Trailblazers don't live in a space of being understood. They live in a place of finding people who support them and rolling with that. And if you do, great. If you don't, just hold on. Okay? And so we got to get to a place where we understand the easiest way to break a cycle is to stop seeking support. Stop seeking understanding and just ride with the support you got. Does this make sense to anybody at all? I feel like I'm talking to myself this morning. Does it make sense to anybody at all? Right? And again, this might be an uncomfortable situation for many of you. But some of you stayed in abusive situations. Why? Because it was more convenient for you to stay than it was for you to go. Some of you stayed in conditions in different areas of your life that were very poor, but you stayed there because it was easier for people to understand why you stayed than it would have been for them to understand or support you if you left. Y'all don't like this, right? But you break cycles not through understanding. You break cycles through walking in purpose and vision and just going with a handful of people, or I got a better one than that, nobody. Sometimes you're going to go through stuff and it's going to just be you and God, and that's it, right? But you break cycles by holding on to your purpose, right? Holding on to the plan for your life. All right, let me move because I feel like I'm talking and I got to hurry here. But this is good, man. I could really teach on this a long time. Psalms chapter 34, verse 1, New Living Translation. Get there quickly. Psalms chapter 34, verse 1, New Living Translation. And the crazy thing is, man, I laugh because, again, a lot of things happened this week. There's a lot that really hit me. They were bad things, not that happened to me, bad things that happened to other people, but it really had an impact on me. And it really, reminded me of some things and really made me sober about some things in my life and why I do things the way I do. And I believe this. I believe sometimes God allows things to happen around you, especially when you've got a purpose for your life. You got a vision for your life, and we all do. This ain't just me. We all have purpose on our lives. We all have vision on our lives. When you've got a purpose on your life, a vision on your life, a significant purpose, vision on your life, sometimes God allows things to happen around you to remind you that you're on the right track. And, it was just very sobering. I'm really processing a lot of the events that happened just this past week alone. Again, not bad, so nothing's wrong, but just processing it in the context of just the reminder that I believe God sends. And that is, it's simple, that when you do When you do significant things in your life, when you make significant changes in your life, when you have significant purpose in your life, when you have significant plans in your life, you've got to shift from understanding to just embracing and waiting for the support. That's it. And when you do that, things are going to be better for you. Psalms 34, verse 1. Let's look at this. Because David in Psalms 34, verse 1, he discovers two answers to consistent cycles of problems. So for those of you that have consistent cycles of problems in your life, in Psalms chapter 34, verse 1, David discovers two answers to consistent cycles of problems. Look at Psalms chapter 34, verse 1. I will praise the Lord at all times. I will constantly speak his praises. I'm in the New Living Translation. Those of you that grew up in the church probably heard, and his praise shall continually be in my mouth, right? Under the traditional King James Version, right? But again, verse 1, I will praise the Lord at all times. I will constantly speak his praises. All right. The first way to consistently defeat cycles of problems in your life is with consistent praise. All right. Is with consistent praise. Consistent praise to who, Zeb? Consistent praise to God. One easy way to break consistent cycles of problems in your life is to consistently praise God, which means good times, bad times, indifferent times, times you don't understand, times that make sense, times that don't make sense. Doesn't matter where your life is and how your life is moving or fluctuating. If you keep praising God consistent in your life, you will consistently break negative cycles in your life. You will consistently break negative cycles in your life. You've got to keep a praise to God on your life. How do I do that, Dr. Zeb? Be practical with me. How do I consistently praise God in my everyday living? It's simple. You're always thankful to him. You're always thankful to him. You always give him credit for the things that happen in your life. You always see him in everything that happens in your life. In all your ways, acknowledge him, right? When you consistently acknowledge God, you are consistently praising him, right? I always, and I was sharing with my kids, we went to WWE on Monday, which, by the way, wrestling was off the hook. I had been to wrestling, I don't know, in maybe 13, 14 years. It had been years since I had been to wrestling. And the last time I went, I took my nephew, CJ. My brother, my cousin, we all went. Greensboro Coliseum 13, 14 years ago, a long time ago. CJ was a little kid. So it had been years since I've been to wrestling. Hadn't been in years. But I was telling Giselle and Ford, we were talking this week about, they both brought a friend with them, and we went to Chili's before we went to wrestling. Giselle and Ford love Chili's. They like their molten cake. I like their molten cake. And so we went there, we were eating, and I noticed, Giselle and Ford didn't really say their prayer over their food like they normally did. They had their friends with them. So we were just sitting at the table talking one day later this week. I didn't think about it. I didn't say nothing to them then. But I'm very observant about these things. I try to teach my kids in all things. We were here eating, and we were talking. We ended up having a conversation, something about the importance of doing the same things over and over again and how that builds skill, right? I think we were talking about Giselle in gymnastics and Ford in basketball. And, you don't get better by just not consistently doing things. You have to consistently do things. We talked about that in the introduction. But then I said to them, I said, listen, it doesn't matter, even if you're around your friends, right? You don't have to stop the table and make everybody at the table hold hands and say your prayer. You have to do all of that. But you still need to bow your head and pray over your food. Why? Because in everything you do, you have to be consistent with it. And that even includes prayer, right? And that's what it means to be consistent with God, right? When we think about consistent praising God at all times, we are thinking about consistently being thankful to him, right? Consistently acknowledging him, right? And this is important. When we consistently acknowledge God, he consistently works for us. Okay, I want you to record that. When we consistently acknowledge God, he consistently works for us. I'm getting ready to go there real quick. When we consistently acknowledge God, he consistently works for us. Can I explain something to y'all? Y'all know why I never worry about things going wrong in my life, or when things go left in my life, or things don't go the way I plan them. Y'all know why I don't break down and worry. Let me tell you why I don't break down and worry. The reason why I don't break down and worry when things go wrong in my life, because I consistently acknowledge God. This is important. You don't have to be perfect to consistently acknowledge God. You don't have to do everything right to consistently acknowledge God. But when you consistently acknowledge him, he always consistently works for you. Right? So when the business doesn't work out, the business plummets. When it was going well, you were acknowledging him. When it started failing, you were acknowledging him, which means he ain't got no choice but to work it out for you. You have a choice. Rehab. When we had an address, I acknowledge God. We ain't got no address right now. I still acknowledge him. You know, I'm not losing sleep. I'm not in a hurry. He's going to work it out. He always does. Okay? So when you consistently acknowledge God, he consistently works for you. And his track record is sure. I have too much proof and too much experience with him where things have gone left, whether it's with rehab or any other area of my life. But I consistently acknowledge who he was. He consistently worked it out. Y'all, this is what y'all do. Let me tell you what y'all do. When things are great, now let me take that back. When things are bad, you acknowledge God. And how do we normally acknowledge him? You acknowledge him through prayer. When things go bad, listen, ain't no altar more full and ain't no church more full than after a tragedy. Are y'all listening to me? Church is its most full when there's a tragedy, when something goes wrong. In fact, we can just be real elementary at it. Most churches are their fullest at a funeral. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about the fact that most churches are the fullest they will ever be when somebody dies? I'm not making light of it. Listen to me. I'm not making light of death. Listen to me. Churches are the most full when they die. Why? Because it's tragedy. And it's something about that. People are quicker to acknowledge God in negative times. But here we go. When things are well, when your money's flowing good, business is working great, your relationships, your marriages are going good, everything is flowing well in your life, do we really acknowledge God? Tell the truth. All right? I bring it right back to this example with my kids. They're having a ball at Chili's, and friend, they laugh, and I'm taking videos, laughing at them, laughing with them, having a great time. And they just skip right on over that prayer and start eating them Chipotle chicken fingers. Right? I'm using that as a light example to make sense of a larger point. And that's how we tend to be. We tend to only acknowledge God when things are bad. You can't be that way. David said, I'm gonna praise him when? At all times, which means I'm gonna consistently, good, bad, in between, understand, don't understand, not sure if I understand. I'm gonna consistently praise him, right? Because when you do that, that's one way to break a cycle. The second way to break a cycle is this. It's the second part. I will constantly speak his praises. The second way to consistently break cycles of problems in your life is to change your language. I want you to record this. The second way to consistently break cycles in your life is to change your language. Those Crispers are smack, Dr. Vance. I ain't kidding you. I get mine with extra glaze on a cheat day, that is. Right? The second way, man, I had a fat cheat day yesterday. If you follow my story, Lord, geez, my cheat day was fat. That mac and cheese, I want to just give a special shout out to Smoking Mac and Cheese. It is a food truck. This is so random and so ignorant. I'm sorry, y'all. It is a food truck here in Carolina, smoking mac and cheese. Man, I had a mac and cheese bowl yesterday with brisket in it and bacon. Good God from Zion. Boy, I gotta do 2 of these this week just to get rid of that 3,000 calories. Listen, the second way to break cycles in your life is to change your language. Change your language. Stop saying stuff like, I'm gonna always be by myself. Stop saying stuff like, I'll never have a business that succeeds. Stop saying stuff like, people will never like what I'm doing. Stop saying stuff like, my family will never be successful. You gotta change your language. David said, now am I gonna praise him at all times? I'm gonna be consistent in my praise. I'm gonna constantly speak his praises, right? I'm gonna constantly speak his name. I'm gonna constantly speak well over my life. You gotta change your language. You have to change your language. You gotta change the things you say. You gotta change the things you believe, right? Because even if the people before you didn't handle you well, you have the ability to change your language and say, I'm going to handle what I deal with well. I was talking with a young lady, I think it was earlier this week, I can't remember, who has gone through some challenging, has gone through a very challenging dynamic with her parents. And I told her, I said, you're going to be an incredible mom. And the reason I know you're going to be an incredible mom is, number one, you're aware of how you were raised, like, you know, how bad your parents, raised you, and how not good they were with handling you. So you're very aware of that, and you're very keen to that, and you're very sensitive to that. And you received some work in that space to deal with the wounds that resulted from that. But the other reason why I know you're going to be very good as a parent is because you have allowed what you have experienced to put you on alert, not to repeat the cycle. And say, I don't know if y'all know this, but I know a lot of people. I have a lot of friends who had bad parents, or maybe had a bad parent, a bad mom, or a bad dad, and they turned out to be incredible dads because they had a bad dad, right? Or they turned out to be incredible moms because they had a bad mom, right? Why? Because it is the alertness and the awareness of coming from a bad situation that positions them to want to break the same cycle of repeating, right? And so you got to change your language. You got to be intentional about the things you say. You have to be intentional about the things you do, meaning I'm going to constantly speak his praises. I'm not only going to change my language, but I'm going to consistently do it. I'm going to intentionally do it, right? So we can break that cycle by changing our language, changing the things we say over our lives, right? Your language has the power to stop anything. I don't care what people say. I don't care what people think. I don't care how fancy people try to be. I'm here to tell you, your language, the things you say to yourself, the things you speak over your life, the things you speak concerning your life, has the ability to stop anything. There is nothing in your life you can't stop if you first stop your language, if you first change your language, if you first adjust the way you speak over it. Ain't nothing you can't stop. That's from health to how your relationships flow, to how your business is flowing, to how your career is going. You got to change your language. It starts with your language. It starts with your ability to speak in the wind and see stuff until it changes. And David says this here. Listen, I ain't going to just praise God at all time. I'm going to constantly change my language. I'm going to consistently praise him, which means my language is going to change. And not only is it going to change, it's going to be consistent, which means, y'all, you can't have 1 week of speaking positive and then the weekend something happened and you go right back to what you did, right? If you can't lose 15 pounds in 1 week, for all of y'all that's going to try to crash and lose weight before vacation season get here, if you can't crash and lose 15 pounds in 1 week, you can't change your life in 1 week by speaking positive over your life for 1 week. It's got to be consistent over time. Right? It's got to be consistent over time. You got to build a track record of speaking positive when things are going great, of speaking positive when things are going bad. It has to be consistent over time. Does this make sense to anybody? Okay. It's got to be consistent over time. And if it is consistent over time, that's when you begin to see cycles of being broke, cycles of being lonely, cycles of being confused, cycles of poor performance, cycles of no success. You start to see these cycles break in your life. Why? Because you're speaking positive over your life. I told somebody this week. In fact, somebody told me this week, something happened this week. And the person called me and said, Zeb, you said that was going to happen. And literally nothing you say, there has not been a single thing you've said that hasn't happened. And listen, it ain't because I got some great superpower, which I'm anointed. I'll admit that. But I told her, I said, the same thing can happen in your life. There is power attached to your words. Stuff I say be happening. And stuff you say can be happening if you speak it consistently over your life. Watch, and then here we go. You begin to align your life with the things that you speak, which means you can't say you're going to be successful and you keep hanging with losers. You can't say you're going to be debt free. You keep hanging with broke people. You can't do it. You can't say you're going to have great relationships, friendships, marriages, whatever, romantic relationships, whatever connections you have. You can't say you're going to have great relationships and you don't ever put in no work on yourself. Why? Faith without works is dead. I see a question. I'm coming to you, Emil. And the question is, how do you focus on the consistency in the language when you get thrown off? It's that simple. Many people tend to get thrown off by circumstances. We tend to get thrown off by things not looking good. We tend to get thrown off, honestly, by fatigue. I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to talk about it on my live this week. And, you know, it's going to be an interesting live. It's going to probably be the longest live that I've gone, but I got a lot of bullet points. I've had a lot of thoughts. I just needed some time. But let me tell you something. You know where this generation really struggles too? Let me tell you another reason why this generation struggles to break cycles, right? Because when we talk about language, right, and changing your language and speaking something over your life, and you can't just do it one day, or you can't just do it 5 weeks, right? Or 5 days, right? If you don't do, I'm not explaining this well. If you do sit-ups, for those of you that want to lose your belly, if you do sit-ups starting tomorrow through Friday, and you do 100 sit-ups a day, don't look in the mirror Saturday. Listen to me. If you do 100, listen to me. If you do 100 sit-ups Monday through Friday, starting tomorrow, if you do 100 sit-ups Monday through Friday, starting tomorrow, you get up in the morning on Monday, you get up every day this week, and you do 100 sit-ups every day this week, Monday through Friday, and you say, I want to lose this belly, and I'm going to lose this belly this week, and I'm going to start by changing my diet and my working out habits, and I'm going to do 100 sit-ups Monday through Friday. Do not look in the mirror on Saturday. Because when you look on Saturday, what are you going to see? The same stomach you saw on Monday. Are y'all listening to me? I'm talking about this issue with fatigue. I'm going somewhere. You're going to see the same stomach you saw on Monday. Why? Because you ain't done the sit-ups long enough. You're not. And you can put that, ladies, y'all can put that little belly thing, waist thing around your stomach. You can do all of that. The only way you're going to lose that stomach in 5 days is if you go to see Mr. Miami. It's the only way it's happening. You're not losing that stomach in 5 days. Contrary to popular belief, it doesn't work that way, right? So why do most people tend to get thrown off when it comes to changing our language and changing on the things that we focus on? Well, we get thrown off because this generation struggles with being disciplined. Man, I really don't want to go here, but I can talk about this all day. And I'm going to talk about it this week on my own personal live. It's just going to be great. It's going to be the greatest, longest live I've ever done. This generation struggles with being disciplined. Most of you can't do the same things over and over and over again without getting bored. Sister Ashley, they don't like this, but it's true. I know I'm telling the truth, Sister Ashley. Thank you for the amen. Some of y'all can't do the same things over and over and over again. And you struggle with that, right? A friend of mine who occasionally tunes in says, yo, Dr. Zeb, man, I'm proud of you. He said, because, you've been doing this broadcast since COVID hit, right? So we're beyond 2 years. We've been in this format. Do I want to be here? No, I miss being in the building. I love the hybrid format that we're going into. But listen, y'all, and I'm not trying to brag on myself. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, not the pudding that you eat, the pudding, Putting. Listen, y'all, it takes a really disciplined person to stick to this format. Y'all think of some Sundays I want to get up and want to do this? Do y'all think of some Sundays where I get up and I don't want to do this? Yes. There's some Sundays I want to lay down, turn over too. You know why I can continue to do it? Because one of my greatest traits is my discipline. You don't get up at 4:30 every morning praying for folks if you ain't disciplined. You don't finish a PhD and manage a family and manage a church and manage a career and manage a coaching business. You don't do all of that stuff if you ain't disciplined. In fact, if you got a PhD or a law degree or a medical degree or some type of terminal degree, they'll tell you. PhD, terminal degree don't mean you're the smartest. It probably means you're the most disciplined. Oh, y'all don't like the way I'm teaching. See, it takes discipline. It takes discipline to break cycles. It takes discipline when you're speaking things over your life. And I get it. And I'm not picking on your Mill. It's a great question. I love your Mill. She always asks wonderful questions. Such a sweetheart. But it's the truth. Yeah, this generation is quick to talk about things like, oh, I got thrown off. I was working out every day and then I got thrown off. Or, I was doing this every day and then something happened and I just stopped. It's because this generation struggles with discipline, man. Y'all got too many choices. You got too many options. You got too many things in your face. And ain't a lot of people that can be disciplined and stick through stuff. Y'all don't believe it? Outside opening back up, ain't it, y'all? I ain't gonna say where I went, but I went somewhere recently and I was walking through, I was looking for something to buy. And I ran into somebody that I hadn't seen since COVID hit. And you could tell that they ain't got no discipline. And let me tell you why. Because they were at least 40 pounds heavier. And I'm like, my God, what happened? I'm thinking at myself. And so the person, shook my hand, hugged me, said, Dr. Zeb, so good to see you. Oh my God, you look great. You look so well. I said, thank you. And I didn't return the I gotta behave today. Y'all, my life is gonna be wild this week. I didn't return the favor and I wasn't being mean, but in my mind, I was thinking, I can tell you sat in the house for the last 2 years and all you did was eat Swiss cake rolls. You didn't do no sit-ups, no push-ups, no nothing. Now, that sounds harsh to some of y'all, but I get it. It's the sign of the times. When COVID first hit, what did people do? I'm in the house, folks was working out. Folks was, I got to stay on task. This was right before the spring hit. I got to stay on task. And then folk got tired. Well, it looked like we're going to be in the house a long time. I might as well eat. Folk was eating and just gaining weight. I'm using this as an example to prove a point. People struggle with sticking with things over a significant period of time. And that, my friends, takes discipline. There's some cycles you ain't going to break with just doing a week of sit-ups. I know y'all don't like this. I know you don't like it. There's some cycles you ain't going to break just doing a week worth of sit-ups. Some cycles you ain't going to break until you consistently do the sit-ups over time. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. I like that, Dr. Vance. When COVID hit, man, I wasn't working out Sunday I was working out twice a day. I went harder. You know why? Because I knew I had to remain disciplined. I knew that eventually outside was going to open up. And I want people to like, golly, is that Zeb? No. The opposite happened. People be looking at me like, are you sick? Ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm just disciplined. We break cycles through discipline. And some of y'all are trying to break major strongholds on your life by doing a week of sit-ups, and it don't work. Just doesn't work that way. You got to be disciplined. All right. Look at this. Psalms 34, verse 2 through 3. Gosh, I got to hurry up. Oh my God. I'm 7 minutes away. How in the heck am I going to finish this? Psalms chapter 34, verse 2 through 3. New Living Translation. Verse 2. I will boast only in the Lord. Let all who are helpless take heart. Verse 3. Come, let us all tell of the Lord's greatness. Let us exalt his name together. When your praise is on repeat, 3 things happen. Okay? When you put praise on repeat, you're consistent in your praise to God. You're consistent in how you acknowledge him. You're consistent in the language that you speak over your life. When your praise is on repeat, 3 results happen. Result number 1, it conditions your behavior. I want you to record this. You're going to be the smartest person at the water cooler all week long. Result number 1, when your praise is on repeat, 3 results are produced. Result 1, it conditions your behavior. It conditions your behavior, which means habits are established through repetitious behavior. Habits are established through repetitious behavior. Habits are established through repetitious behavior. Y'all, I'm not going to finish this today. Is it okay if I do a part 2 of this next week? I really didn't want to do a part 2, but this is so good. I don't want to rush through this because many people I talk to, I counsel, I lead, struggle with cycles in their lives. And this is so important, y'all. So I'm going to have to do a part 2. I really want to slow down. I feel like I'm rushing. Okay. All right. So I want to do a part 2. And I'll stop in 6 minutes. All right. But again, habits are established through repetitious behavior, which means, and this is important, whether it's intentional, unplanned, good, bad, it doesn't matter. The more you do a thing, the more likely you are to establish a habit in that thing. Okay? The more you do a thing, the more you are to establish a habit in that thing. So if praise is something you consistently do, you will see the results of consistent praise. It's that simple. You will see the results of consistent praise, which means you can have a bad day, right? Let's go back to your Mills question, which is a powerful question. You can have a bad day, but it ain't going to throw everything off if you have one bad day. Why? Because your consistency in praising God and acknowledging him in your life and your consistency in changing your language consistently will far outweigh 1 or 2 bad days. Since we've been talking about dieting and working out, let me connect it here. I eat like a pig, half day on Saturdays and on Sunday. A half day on Sunday. Those are my cheat days. And it's really a half day on Saturday because really it doesn't start till about noon on Saturday. And on Sundays, it doesn't start until about 1 or 2, right? So put a half and half together. It's my one cheat day where I eat what I want to eat. Doesn't matter what it is, I eat and I eat. And I'm a foodie and I like to eat. Isaiah, how can you get away with that? Because Monday through Friday, I don't. You know, unless I take my kids out to dinner or something, we go out to something special, like with the wrestling this week, whatever. Or if I got some kind of dinner meeting at work, and even with that, I try to keep it in the road, right? If I got a dinner meeting that's work related, I try to order something that's healthier, right? But Monday through Friday, I stick to the script. So that when I have my one cheat day, half day Saturday, half day Sunday on the weekend, you know, that mac and cheese, brisket mac and cheese that I had yesterday doesn't show up in my results. See, the other beautiful thing about being consistent in your life is that when you have a bad day, your consistency will override it. Y'all not listening to me. Are y'all listening to me? When you have a bad day, your consistency will override it. Which means when you're consistent in a thing, you can afford to have a bad day. See, some of y'all have not been able to have bad days because you ain't been consistent enough to have them. Oh, this is good. This is so good. You have not been consistent enough in your life to have a bad day. So when you have a bad day, it just overwhelms you Because you don't have consistency built up. You got to build up the consistency. And see, when you build up the consistency, your bad day, one bad day ain't going to kill you. It's like I'm going to go have this cheat day when I go hang out with mama. I'm going to eat today. You know, I'm going to be cooking partially on the grill, but when I finish, I'm going to eat. And you know what? I'm going to eat without any apology. You know why? Because Monday morning is right back to my protein shakes, my salads. It's right back to trying to be finished eating by 8 o'clock. It's right back to the routine. It's right back to working out by 5:05 in the morning. While y'all snoring, I'm in there doing burpees. See, you got to build up your currency through consistency. I like this, Sister Ashley, and I like the way she put that. She may not have even meant this. She put it in the comment. You have to earn that bad day. That's powerful, right? And I don't even know she realizes what she's saying. You know, she put in, Sister Ashley Spencer put in the comments, you have to earn that bad day. That's not only in a cheat diet, but that's just in life. You're going to have a bad day, but if you consistent, you know, every other day, one bad day ain't enough to throw you off. If you consistent in going after your business and establishing your business, and you're working on your business every day, one bad meeting, one bad left turn ain't gonna throw you off. That's why y'all. So I got folk worried about rehab. I got folk to stop support. I got folk all in all kinds of spaces right now, and I'm honestly laughing and trying not to be petty about it. Why? Because I've had enough consistency with rehab to know that one challenge with us finding a location ain't enough to stop it. And so you can have a bad day if you earn it. Are y'all listening? Is this making sense to anybody? Like, this is really good. You have to earn that bad day, and we earn it by having consistent good days, right? I earned that brisket mac and cheese yesterday because yesterday morning, before I walked 6 miles, yesterday morning, I did about 40 minutes of ab exercises right here on this floor to the point where I thought I was going to puke. And so right before I ate that brisket mac and cheese, after I got out of the shower, after I walked my 6 miles, I looked down and I could see the fruits of my results. And with my abs popping, I ate that brisket mac and cheese. Why? Because you have to earn. I'm going to steal that, Sister Ashley. I'm stealing it. That's good. You got to earn a bad day. You have to earn it. I'm writing that down right now, Sister Ashley. I'm telling you now, I will give you credit. I don't plagiarize. People steal from me all the time. But you have to earn that. You have to earn that bad day. You have to earn it. You have to earn your bad day. I mean, that blessed me, Sister Ashley. Like, you have no idea. That was right on time. You have to earn your bad day. And it was really the answer to the question that came earlier, right? We earn it through consistency. Let me say this to you. Some problems we possess are really the result of the same behavior we're doing over and over again. Coach Trevor. Okay. Oh, wow. Cool deal. So somebody else got a fitness coach, I see. Some problems we possess are the result of the same behavior over and over again. Right? Some of us are doing the same thing over and over again, and then we chalk it up to things like, that's just who I am. No, that's an excuse. Change your ways. Change your way. You want to see cycles changing your life? It's okay to consider changing your ways. You can't chalk it up to, this is just who I am. I've always been this way. And that's an argument I can't stand. I've gotten in trouble in a lot of professional spaces because I call folk out. What you ain't gonna do is just do stuff just the way you've been doing it, because you've always done it that way and it's bad and people have allowed you to do it. And then the reasoning is, well, that's just them. That's how they operate. Nuh-uh. No, it ain't. Y'all got to stop that. Cycles don't get broken that way. That's just who I am. That's what I've always done. That's just the way I do. No, change your ways. And when you change your ways, you will see it will impact outcomes in your life. When praise is at the core of what you do, this is the last note I'm going to give you. We're going to start right here. Next week, I'm making the note right here. Start here. Next week is the what? 15th. Let me make a note right here. This is the last note I'm going to give y'all. May 15, 2022 is where I'm going to start. This is the last note I'm going to give you. I want you to record this. When praise is at the core of what you do, it always impacts how you respond. When praise is at the core of what you do, it always impacts how you respond. If praise is what is praise, when praise is at the core of what you do, I need to stop reading. When praise is at the core of what you do, it always impacts how you respond. Okay? When praise is at the core of what you do, it always impacts how you respond. Right? In other words, when your praise is consistent, it consistently begins to challenge how you respond. And you begin to consistently respond differently. And in turn, you begin to see consistent, different results. But praise has to be at the core of what you do. Praise will change how you respond to problems. Praise will change how you respond to challenges. Praise will change how you respond to difficulties. Praise will change how you see challenges that come up in your life. When praise is at the core of what you do, it challenges how you respond. So then you don't react and panic and fall through the crack and fall at the seams when things go bad or things go left. No. Why? Because praise is at the core of who you are. Praise is at the core of what you do. Right? A lot of people are just honestly just falling at the seams because they're not consistent in their praise. Their praise has to be contingent on stuff. Their language has to be contingent on stuff. Their ability to feel good has to be contingent on things going good. You know, their ability to feel great has to be contingent on things being great. That's not consistency. And that doesn't change cycles in your life. Cycles change when at the core of what you do, and if it's praise, becomes consistent, it's going to impact how you respond. And when it changes how you respond, it begins to then change the results you see in your life. Y'all, I'm done. This bless anybody? I'm 5 minutes over. Bless anybody today? If you did, fill it up with hearts. Say something. Let me know it did. I want to pray with you quickly. I want you to type in your prayer request in the comments. Every single morning. Monday, let me take that back. Monday through Friday, 4:30 in the morning, I get up. Some Saturdays I do, but normally Saturdays I don't get up later than 5. I might sleep an extra 30 minutes, maybe an extra hour, get up at 5:30. Not kidding you. But every morning, 4:30 in the morning, I get up, I pray over your prayer request. If you've got a prayer request, something you want me to pray over, I want you to type it in the comments quickly right now. Maybe you've got a prayer request that we cannot read today. I want you to email your prayer request to info@rehabcc.org. That's info@rehabcc.org. All right. I want you to email your prayer request there. But I want you to know that I'm praying for you. One of the things I'm going to be praying for this week is that God builds some consistency in your life. I want you to be consistent in the things that you do. I don't care if it's in business, in relationships, in career, in business. It doesn't matter. I want you to be consistent in the things that you do, intentional and consistent, so that you can continue to see intentional results in your life. You have to be consistent in your prayer life. Thank you so much, Sister Ashley. I really appreciate you. I really, really, really do. I'm going to pin you there. You have to be consistent in your prayer, your life when it comes to the things that you consistently expect to see in your life. So my prayer is that you're consistent this week. I'm going to pray that God begins to build you in consistency and gives you the stamina to be consistent. Yeah, I get it. People get tired. We all get tired. But when I found in my life, the easiest way to remain consistent in tired seasons is to not focus on where I am, but focus on my intended outcome. Some of you have asked, maybe thinking, Dr. Zeb, how do I remain consistent when I'm tired? You focus not on where you are, you focus on where you're going. You don't focus on what you're dealing with, you focus on where you're going. So how do I consistently push through? I have to learn how to look beyond what's happening and keep the end goal in mind. I was about dying yesterday doing those ab exercises, but I looked over on the couch. Guess who was sitting there watching me? Four sitting right there on the couch watching me. And you know what? As much as I wanted to die, I had to remember who I was doing the ab exercises for. I'm trying to be at his wedding. I'm trying to be the coolest, finest granddaddy you ever seen in your life. It's a motivation. You have to remember why you do what you do. And when you remember why you do what you do, even when the exercises get hard, even when life gets hard, even when situations get hard, you remember what you do and why you're doing what you do. It causes you to remain consistent. Y'all, I don't come on here every Sunday and Tuesday, not because I ain't tired. I don't come on here every Sunday and Tuesday and still continue to do it. You know, outside is open, it's easy to look around, get distracted, and the situation happened what I built. You know, it's easy for me to just look at all that and just get distracted and just quit. I remain consistent. You know why? Because I remember the purpose of me starting this in the first place. And see, you can remain faithful when you remember your purpose. That was good. I got to steal it. You can remain faithful when you can remember your purpose. You can. People struggle with being faithful because they forget the purpose. They forget why they do what they do in the first place. People quit businesses that they start, not necessarily because it got hard. That's part of it. They quit because they forgot the purpose. Oh, man, they lose sight of that. Okay. And so you got to remember that and remain consistent in that, and God will see you through. Listen, connect your hands like this as a sign and symbol of faith. I see a few prayer requests coming in. Make sure you add more prayer requests as we're getting ready to pray. I want you to connect your hands like this as a sign and symbol of faith, as if we are touching and holding hands, because I want to pray for you right now. I believe God's going to answer your prayers this week. And my specific prayer is going to be for consistency in your life, consistency in your behavior, the things that you do, so that you can see consistent results in your life. Let's pray. Connect your hands like this as a sign and symbol of faith. Father, in Jesus' name, thank you today for your word. What a powerful time you've given us today on this Mother's Day. I pray now that this word has challenged somebody, maybe even convicted somebody, but has caused, most importantly, caused somebody to take a step back and see the role that we all play in the patterns that happen in our lives. God, this week above everything else, I want you to sing consistency to the lives of your people. Help us to be more consistent in our behaviors, more consistent in our perspective, more consistent in the way we go about doing things, so that we can be everything you've called us to be, everything you've designed us to be, and more. Now, God, I lift up to you every prayer request of your people, that you would answer the prayers of your people in a special way. Somebody struggling through some very difficult moments, some very difficult seasons right now. And I pray now, God, that you would give them the strength, the courage, and the power to keep moving forward, to keep advancing forward, to be everything that you've called them to be, everything you've designed them to be, and more. I pray now, God, not only just for that, but right now, a special prayer even for every mother that's tuned in, every mother that's watching the replay, that God, today you would allow today to be a special day for them. Help them to be reminded of just how important they are. Help our mothers to be reminded of just how significant they are in the lives of all of us. Help them to understand and carry with pride the weight that you placed on their shoulders of not just bearing children, but also raising children, of being an example to children, of being examples and helpmeets to children. I pray now, God, that you would strengthen every mother that's tuned in, that you would touch every person that's lost their mother today, every person who on Mother's Day goes through grieving because of the loss of their mother, or even women that have raised them. I pray strength for their lives today, that you would help them to realize that you have the ability, God, to be mother and father to those that are motherless and fatherless. I pray now today that, God, you would make this day a spectacular day, not just for our mothers, but for everybody tuned in, but that you would again make this week a week filled with consistency. Help us to create new habits in our lives through consistency. And God, we will continue to praise you. We'll continue to give your name glory, honor, and praise. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Do me a favor. If you prayed that prayer of faith, I want you to type in the comments really quickly. If you prayed that prayer of faith, I want you to type in the comments quickly. It is so. Come on, do it quickly. It is so. It is so. It is so. Come on, quickly. It is so. It is so. If you prayed that prayer of faith, I want you to type it in the comments quickly. It is so. It is so. Every time you say amen, you're saying it is so. You're saying it is done. You're saying it is well. Every time you type amen, every time you say amen, I want you to type it in the comments quickly. It is so. It is so. Listen, while you're typing that, if anybody wants to be saved, If anybody wants to dedicate their life to Christ, if anybody wants to commit to Christ today, I want you to stop what you're doing. The Bible tells us in Romans 10 and 9 that if we confess with our mouths, believe with our hearts that Jesus Christ is who he is, has done what he's done, we are saved. Salvation is a matter of confession. It's not about being perfect. It's not about doing all the right things. But salvation is about acknowledging the fact that we serve a Savior who's bigger than our flaws, who's bigger than our failures, who ultimately died on the cross for us and then rose again so that we can live. If you want to be saved, there is no better day than Mother's Day. Well, take that back. There's a Mother's Day is the second day. I keep giving y'all a fit. I'm only messing with y'all. But there's no better day than today than to dedicate your life to Christ. If you want to be saved, I want you to stop what you're doing. If you're driving, pull over. If you're laying down, I want you to sit up. If you're at brunch, put down the bacon. Doesn't matter where you are. If you want to be saved today, I want you to stop what you're doing and touch and agree with me, because I want you to repeat this prayer of faith. And if you do it, I'm here to tell you, God's going to save you exactly where you are. If you want to be saved, say this with me. Say it. I'm a sinner. I'm not perfect. I have some flaws, and I even have some failures. But I do believe that Jesus Christ was born of a virgin, lived on this earth just like I'm living. He suffered, bled, and died on the cross. But 3 days later, rose again for my sins. Because he lives, I can live, and I am saved. My friends, if you prayed that prayer of faith, I want to welcome you to the royal family of Jesus Christ. You have made an incredible decision in dedicating your life to Christ and committing your life to Christ. In fact, do me a favor. If you prayed that prayer of faith today and you really believe that he did it, I want you to type in the comments quickly, #salvation. Would you do that for me? Put it in the comments quickly, #salvation. If you prayed that prayer of faith, if you dedicated your life to Christ, type it in the comments, #salvation. Wow, we're not trying to embarrass you. We want to celebrate with you. You've made an incredible decision today, and we're grateful for that. Now, go find you a church home. I don't care where that church is. I don't care if you join them in person. I don't care if you join them virtually. I don't care what it is. I only have one requirement. I want it to be a Bible teaching, Bible believing ministry that believes in pouring into people in a way that you can understand. I want you to find that place and then go be a part of that ministry. Why? Because now that you've dedicated your life to Christ, I need you to surround yourself with other believers, people who believe like you, who want to grow like you, who want to be better just like you, who every single day are trying to be better today than what they were yesterday. I want you to surround yourself with people like that so that you can continue to grow in your faith. Maybe you're tuned in and you're saying, listen, I want to be a part of the Rehab Christian Center. I like the teaching here. I love the ministry here. I love the way the word is taught in a way that I understand it. Listen, I would love to be your pastor. I would love to walk alongside you in this journey called faith that is your life right now. If you want to be a part of this ministry, just simply type in the comments, #membership, #membership. Just type it in the comments, #membership, and we'll get that information. Make sure we reach out to you, get some information from you, and we would love to welcome you, not to the loudest church on the planet, not to the biggest church on the planet, but by far the nicest church on the planet, the Rehab Christian Center. And I would love to be your pastor, not only be your pastor, but walk alongside you on this journey that is your life. All right. Listen, I'm so glad you tuned in. I'm so glad you made Rehab your choice this morning. Do me a favor. I want to challenge you to give today quickly, really, 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 really quickly. I want to challenge you to give. If this message, if this ministry has been a blessing to you, I want to challenge you to give today. All right. You can give one of three ways. You can give via CashAPP, $, REHABCCGIVE. That's $, REHABCCGIVE. You can give through our website, www.rehabcc.org, and simply choose online giving. Or you can text REHABWORKS to 336-642-3210. That's REHABWORKS to 336-642-3210. All right. Again, you can give via CashAPP, $, REHABCCGIVE. You can give through our website, www.rehabcc.org, and choose online giving. Or you can give by texting REHABWORKS to 336-642-3210. You can give either one of those ways. And we know that if you give, God's going to bless you. How? Good measure, pressed down, shaking together, running over. He's going to send somebody into your life, to be a blessing to your life the way you've given to us. What are we doing now that we're waiting? We're looking for places where we can call our new home, and we're saving. We're simply saving. We're going to be saving. We know that there's going to require some level of investment to go into whatever space that we go into. So we're simply saving up and preparing so that whenever that day and moment comes and the right building opportunity comes, that we are prepared to go in and to move in seamlessly and continue and begin rather this hybrid format that I know is just going to be a big blessing. Listen, I'm committed and without a doubt, without a doubt, that anytime something major is about to happen in your life, it comes with major opposition. And I'm okay here. I hope you are as well. But I can't say thank you enough for your support. Your support is still critical today, just as critical today as it was before. And so continue to tithe, give your tithes, give an offering, continue to sow seeds into this ministry. And I promise you, God's going to bless you in a tremendous way. Listen, y'all, I love y'all. I'm praying for y'all. I'm rooting for y'all. I want y'all to have a fantastic Mother's Day. Again, happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers that are tuned in. It is certainly my prayer that God blesses you today and every single day. I want you to enjoy your week. I want you to have a fantastic week. And again, I'm praying for your consistency this week. I want you to be consistent in everything that you do. And then make plans to meet us this Tuesday, 7:08 p.m. on Eastern Standard Time for a life study. Thank you so much. I know we sent it out last minute or on the day of that there was no life study last Tuesday. I had to go to an event with my children, and I really just appreciated your flexibility. We will be here this Tuesday, 7:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for life study. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a powerful time. And I simply can't wait to see you. Make sure you like this video, share this video, tell everybody to tune in, and then make plans to meet us this Tuesday, 7:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here at the Rehab Christian Center. Again, happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers, and I will see you on Tuesday. Have a fantastic day. Peace and blessings.
Thank you for watching the Rehab Christian Center live experience. If this broadcast has been a blessing to you and you would like to be a blessing to our leader, Dr. Zeb Talley III, you can sow a seed into his ministry by CashAPP at $Pastor ZT3. It is our prayer that this message of hope encouraged, enlightened, and empowered you to be better. Please tune in Tuesday at 7:08 p.m. for our life study experience. And as always, be blessed and have a wonderful week.